Well, they often ask me, how could we interpret, how could we analyze, if we could at all, if we can, children's dreams. And my answer is always this sort of answer. Do you really believe that children, they exist? They do exist. How could we say that a child exists as a child? Children exist themselves as children, like children, children-like, we can say. Is there a sort of model embodying a child? Well, I'm not talking of archetypes like poor Eternals or other archetypes given more or less efficacy. Poor is a strong archetype, of course, but child is of the order of the imaginary. Now I'm going to introduce something that is not so Lacanian, that at the same time employs some of Lacanian terms. I'm referring to imaginary and real. The domain of imaginary is the domain of a child. Conrad Stein wrote a very interesting book centered on that invention of the imaginary child, l'enfant imaginaire. But I'm going to say that we ourselves build imaginary child, an imaginary child, imaginary children of ourselves, of us, speaking, talking, developing, transforming, changing, living as imaginary children, and that we ourselves live our dreams as, and that is the difference, in Lacanian terms and in Conrad Stein's vision of the imaginary child. So we live our lives as dreaming the dreams of a child, dreaming children's dreams. So when we dream as children, and when we live as grown-up guys, but our imaginary, our desires are built of children's stuff, childish stuff. Desire is always something coming from before and going toward a before word, no? And that's what I call imaginary. To feed our unconscious dimension of being, of human beings, of human animals, by imaginary of before, children's imaginary, a childlike imaginary. Our dreams are childlike. It is not what we could say sort of maturity, of growing up. It's not that kind of process. The process is a process of construction, of building ourselves on the rests of our life that passed by, our past life. We have 2 lives, maybe 3 lives. We have life in time, and we have life out of time. Not without time, but out of time. Our life in time is life of phases, psychological and psychoanalytical phases, social phases. It's a sort of passing, ceaseless passing through initiating phases. We have ceremonies, we have phrases, we have words, we have languages, and we have discourses. Our life out of time, not without time, but out of time, is a life where we can go afterwards and we can go back. And we can go on, we can stop, we can change velocity, we can go faster than the speed of light, and we can go faster than the speed of thoughts, and we can go faster than the speed of the heart, and than the speed of the body. We can move. It's a sort of not quantic human animal, a sort of Aristotelian human animal, moving and revolutioning and changing. Phases are a change in human nature. Our physics is not of the order of the body, as usually said, and reclaimed and revindicated, claimed, but of the order of the imaginary.